If you've ever felt that discipline is a prison, not a path, this story will break your chains. Because sometimes the key to freedom is learning to serve your own soul with strength. In a distant kingdom draped in gold and silk, there lived a young prince named Idris. His palace was a paradise of luxury, long halls shimmering with crystal light, gardens perfumed with roses, and fountains that sang like the wind. Servants moved like shadows to fulfill his every wish before he could even speak it. And yet, amidst all the splendor, the young prince was empty. When the laughter of musicians faded, when the torches dimmed, a hollow silence filled his heart. He did not know who he was beyond the comfort that surrounded him. His body was weak, his focus fleeting, his desires endless. Every morning he would promise himself, "Tomorrow I will change. Tomorrow I will rise early, study, and train." But when morning came, he would stay beneath the silk sheets, convincing himself that greatness could wait another day. One night, Idris wandered through the palace gardens, unable to sleep. The moon hung heavy above the horizon, and by the marble steps sat the royal scholar, a man old enough to remember 3 kings before him. His beard was silver, his eyes sharp and calm like still water. "You are awake late, my prince," said the scholar, closing his ancient book. "I cannot rest," I admitted. "I feel restless, though I lack nothing. Why is that?" The scholar studied him for a long moment. "Because comfort has turned to chains, my lord. You are rich in luxury, but poor in discipline. Without command over oneself, even kings are slaves, not to men, but to their own desires." Idris frowned. "Slaves? I command armies. I hold power." The scholar smiled gently. "And yet, you cannot command your own will to rise with the sun." Those words stung more than any sword. Idris turned away, but they echoed through his soul like thunder in a hollow cave. He did not sleep that night. For the first time, he wondered, what would it mean to rule myself before ruling others? At dawn, Idris stood before his father's throne. His eyes burned with new fire. "Father, I wish to leave the palace. I must climb Mount Sabr." The court gasped. Mount Sabr, the mountain of patience, was a sacred peak beyond the borders of the kingdom. Its path was steep, and no prince had ever set foot upon it. Legend said it revealed the truth to those who dared ascend. The king's laughter filled the hall. "My son, you are a prince, not a pilgrim. The mountain is for monks and madmen." "Then let me be both," Idris answered. And so, dressed not in royal silk, but in the coarse garments of a traveler, he left the palace with nothing but a satchel of bread and a flask of water. The journey began easily, through golden fields and whispering trees. But as days passed, the path grew cruel, rocky, narrow, and endless. The sun scorched his skin by day, the cold bit his bones by night. His muscles ached, his lips cracked, his mind screamed for comfort. At first, he thought of turning back. The palace called to him, its warm baths, soft beds, and sweet fruits. But the words of the scholar echoed, "You are rich in comfort, but poor in control." So, step by step, he pressed forward. Each morning, he woke before sunrise, forcing himself to move before his body agreed. Each night, he whispered to his weary heart, "One more step, one more breath, one more sunrise." One afternoon, halfway up the mountain, Idris came upon a small hut made of stone. Outside, an old hermit sharpened a blade beside a dying fire. His beard was wild, his hands scarred from years of labor. "Traveler, why do you climb this cursed path?" "To prove that I am strong," Idris said, breathing heavily. The hermit looked into his eyes, then chuckled softly. "Strength? Strength is not in the legs that climb mountains. It is in the heart that keeps climbing when it wishes to stop. He handed Idris a bowl of water. You seek to trick your body, but you must first train your mind. Pain is not your enemy, it is your teacher. Those words struck Idris deeper than the cold winds. That night, as he sat beneath the stars, he realized something profound. Every moment of pain was shaping him. Every time he resisted comfort, his mind grew sharper, his will grew stronger. He began to crave the struggle, to love the burn in his muscles, to find peace in exhaustion. He started to enjoy the discipline itself. He rose before dawn to climb higher. He practiced breathing through the storms. When hunger struck, he smiled and said, "You are my test." The more he resisted weakness, the freer he became. The mountain was no longer his enemy. It was his mirror, showing him who he truly was. After 40 days of endless struggle, Idris reached the summit. The sky was painted in colors of fire and gold, and the wind roared with ancient voices. Below him stretched the world, vast, endless, and alive. There on a stone altar was a pool of water clear as glass. Idris knelt before it and for the first time looked at his reflection. But the face that stared back was not the same boy that had left the palace. His eyes no longer begged for comfort. His shoulders were broad, his expression calm, his heart steady. He whispered, "I see now. The chains were never around me. They were within me." The mountain echoed his words back in a whisper of wind, as if to say, "You have learned." When Idris returned to the kingdom, he was not the same prince. He rose early, worked with his men, built schools and gardens with his own hands. He taught that discipline was not punishment, but power, the key to unlocking every other virtue. People whispered of the change, how the once idle prince had become a ruler of will and wisdom. One day, the old scholar lay dying and Idris came to his side. The scholar smiled weakly. "You have done what few men ever do, my prince. You have tricked your mind to loving what it once feared." Idris took his teacher's hand and replied softly, "No, master, I did not trick my mind. I taught it the truth." The moral of the story is that discipline is not a punishment. It is the art of falling in love with what builds you. The mind becomes your master only when you refuse to master it first. If this story moved you, subscribe and join our journey of wisdom, will, and awakening. Comment, "I choose discipline," and let your story begin.